Blog Talk Radio.
Off on another Tarot Today radio episode here on the Psychic Talk Network. This is your host, Dax Carlisle. I'm coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona. And joining me, as always, live from Amarillo, Texas, our other host of Tarot Today, as well as her monthly There's a Rock for That show, Crystal Reiki Master and Tarot Master, Mary Brown. Let's bring her on. Are you there, Mary?
Hi, Dax. Hi, everybody. Happy Psychic Saturday.
Here we are. Another Saturday.
Here we are. Yay.
Oh, gosh. I just look forward to my Saturdays.
I do, too. I've always been a fan of Saturdays and Wednesdays. I like Wednesdays.
Hump Day.
Yeah, I was
day.
born on a Wednesday.
I was born on a Tuesday, I believe.
It's weird, right? Do you like Tuesdays?
But, Tuesday, everything's better than Monday, right? You get past Monday and Tuesday, and then Hump Day, it's like, okay, we're over the hump here. It's really funny, though, because all of that kind of went out the window for me about, how long have we been doing the Tarot Guild? 18 years ago?
Yeah.
When I stopped working for other people,
It's not a thing.
Yeah, and then, with COVID in 2020 and people were everybody was starting to work remotely from home. Everything kind of gets what's the word for it? But it kind of like all the days start to run into each other.
It's
you kind of lose track. Yeah. And when you're an entrepreneur, and it's funny because this kind of dovetails nicely into our topic today that we're going to be talking about, because we're going to be talking about pricing your services and things like that. But when you're an entrepreneur, you lose track. I mean, it's a 7-day-a-week thing for me. I don't have weekends. I mean, I just posted that actually yesterday. I did my daily post, my reading of the day and the numerology of the day, and I was talking about that. Yeah, TGIF, it's Friday. Well, for somebody, I guess it is, but we're a 24/7 economy now. There's third shift folks, there's people whose Fridays are a Wednesday. We've kind of lost that. I mean, I'm sure there's a huge group of people that, still have the Monday through Friday grind, and then they have Saturday and Sunday, but to me, holidays, Saturday and Sunday, the weekend thing, it's all the same to me. It's just another day. In fact, sometimes I get upset when, it's a holiday and like the post office is closed and I need to go to the post office.
It's
like, how dare they take a day off?
Friday's still Friday for me. I mean, that's to me, that's the great thing about working for yourself is you can create your own schedule. And I'm not about to, like, try to burn myself out working for myself. That's crazy. You know what I mean? So I always take Fridays off and often take Tuesdays off as well. I just, kind of, I like the freedom to create my own breaks in there rather than having to, be on the hamster wheel and exit the hamster wheel on the assigned day,
Yeah, I understand. There's another way of looking at it, though, is that if you're an entrepreneur, and you decide when you work, every day is the weekend.
Yeah, potentially.
Back before COVID, I would, Tuesdays I'm going to this karaoke show and singing, and Thursdays I'm doing this, and Saturdays I'm doing that, and so, that's the way to look at it too. But as far as taking the entire day off, gosh, I think I still post every day, but I think Sundays, I've been taking Sundays off. Every other Sunday, Sharona does her show, so I get my coffee, I promote her show, and I just sit back and listen. I don't have to do anything except listen to her show, and I try not to do work for the businesses on Sunday afternoon, and just relax and maybe take in a movie, watch some YouTube videos, things along those lines.
Nice.
But Saturday,
yeah.
But I love bringing it all back, bringing it full circle back to Saturdays. I love Saturdays because I get up, I get ready for the show, I have my coffee, go out on the patio. I'm actually in the office today because it's warm outside, but I did go out with my coffee onto the patio for a little while, and then I get to spend time with you and the listeners. I love it. I love Saturdays. I pull my card of the day and do my, daily reading and do my article about it. Today I didn't have time to finish the article before the start of the show, so I'm going to do that through the show. What did you get for a card of the day?
Well, I drew a card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck by Alberto Violdo and Colette Baron Reed. Beautiful artwork by Jenna Della Cretaglia. And the card I drew is number 32, the Jeweled Web. And the message is connectivity. And I'm going to share the message that comes with this card because I think it's so great. I have nothing more to add to it. It's really fantastic. But, imagine that the answer to your question, whatever your question may be, is not about landing at a particular destination, meeting a goal, connecting to a special lover, reaching, a specific conclusion. Instead, you discover a shimmering web of jewels, just like this card, the Jeweled Web. You didn't know that existed. The world is interconnected in a living web of energy. It is impossible to know how any of that works, but know this. It is your highest good. It is in your highest good. A sparkling jewel that lights up for you among this web of possibilities. You just need to know how you want to feel and choose this consciously. So take your focus off getting anywhere. Practice feeling and being in a place where your desired experience has already come to pass. Who will you be when this is true for you? Can you be that now? Can you feel that now? Practice that. Practice that. Practice being that now which you want to be, how you want to feel. Practice that feeling. What's it going to feel like when your wish comes true? What's it going to feel like when you manifest the things you've been working on manifesting? What's it going to be when you finally attract the thing that you've been trying to attract using the law of attraction or whatever means? And you can see this card. It's posted on our Psychic Talk Radio Network Facebook group. You can find that easily by going to psychictalk.net/Facebook. Like our page, join our group. I posted a lot of cards in there, but look at this one. It's really gorgeous. How about you, Dax? Did you draw a card of the day?
Well, everything
or you did
just
a
said,
spread.
I always do a spread. Sometimes it's 5 cards. Sometimes it's 3 or 4. Actually, it's 4 today because I was shuffling. I was going to pull 3 cards, and the Hermit card just fell out of the deck. So I included the Hermit card and the 3 cards that I drew as well. Plus, I do the numerology of the day, and it dovetails nicely into everything you're talking about there. The energy today, the vibration is 7 from the entire date, because if you take 8/21, 2021, I love that when there's 21. Oh my God. You add those numbers up, you get 16, and in numerology we call it reduction. When you keep adding the numbers together, you want to get down to a single digit, because there's only 1 through 9 in traditional Pythagorean numerology. There's some master numbers too, but they're only talking still about 1 through 9. So 16, 1 plus 6 is 7, so it's that 7 vibration. It's the seeker, and this is a card of, spending alone time, solitude. It's a card of research and, going deeper and looking into yourself. And then the day is the 21st, so 2 plus 1 is 3. That's creativity and communication. So, bringing the creativity in there, And then I just thought it was great because when that card, when the Hermit fell out, it just matches up with that 7 energy so much. I mean, it's there you go. You got the Hermit card, which is about finding solitude and spending some alone time and delving a little deeper into yourself and taking some time off, so to speak, and getting out of your head and getting into your feeling space and going within. And interestingly enough, when I drew the 3 cards that I had originally planned on drawing, I got the 4 of Swords, which is another card about recharging, a retreat or a vacation, taking a step back, that kind of thing. And especially if you're feeling overburdened or anything along those lines. Yesterday I had the 9 of Swords come up, and today I had the 10 of Wands. So a lot of people are probably dealing with that kind of feeling right now, and so it's great to take a deep breath, step back, and get in touch with your inner wisdom and your intuition, which actually also shows up with the Queen of Cups card that I got today. So there you go. There's the tarot and numerology that I got. Yeah, it's great. And so I want to mention that we are going to take, even though we have a topic, we are going to take phone calls today. So give us a call at 714-816-4628. Mary and I would love to chat with you. You can call in and chat about, what we just discussed, what we're about to discuss. You can call in with questions about your tarot business or what have you. You can call in with questions. Maybe you have a burning question about, tarot or numerology or crystals or Reiki or how the law of attraction works or something like that. You can also call in just for a mini reading as well. So it's 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad. That lets us know you want to be live on air, and we'll be getting to calls. We're going to, just a little bit here, we're going to give some time for people to call in. You can also join us in the chat room, and you'll find that by going to chat.psychictalk.net, or just go over to our website, psychictalk.net, and click live at the top of the page. Or if you're on your phone, you just go to the navigation bar and the drop down, and you just click on live, because that's the current live show. You can also go to psychictalk.net/live. That'll take you over there, or /chat will also take you over there. A lot of ways to get there. But we have a chat room below the player, and you can pop in there. You can ask questions in there as well. And it's kind of quiet today. Have you noticed that, Mary? It's quiet in the chat room. I think we have a call or two coming in now.
It is quiet.
I wonder what people are doing. Anyway, I also want to mention, as always, our Saturday show is sponsored by the Tarot Guild, the international organization for tarot lovers, students, and professional readers since 2004. Oh, my God. Stop by and visit us on the web at thetarotguild.com. That's our social networking website with all the features of the big social media websites out there, only it's all tarot all the time, and it's free to join. In fact, you can open a new tab in your browser, type in signup.thetarotguild.com, and you can sign up with your Facebook account, your Twitter, your Google, LinkedIn, or the old-fashioned way with a password and your email address, and you can join free and become an associate member of the Tarot Guild out there. The other thing I wanted to mention was summer's almost over, Mary. Oh, my God.
Wow.
I can't believe it's going to be Labor Day.
Yay!
It's going to be Labor Day. Wow. Wow. And so our sizzling summer sale, which has been going on all summer long, is coming to an end. It's typically one of our biggest sales of the year because summer's slow. You know, people are doing things. And so we put everything on sale, you know, and if you're new to tarot, you can take my Tarot by the Numbers course. It's 33% off. If you're a professional reader already, you can join the Tarot Guild as a professional member and get your certification as a certified tarot reader. We call it CTR. You can get both of those together for 33% off. In fact, there's even a package that has the course and the CTR certification and your professional membership for even more off. Go check it out at summer.thetarotguild.com, or if you're visiting our website, thetarotguild.com, right there on the front page, you'll see the big banner for the sizzling summer sale. Click on that. It's ending this weekend. It's going away. You want to jump on this now. The prices are never lower than this throughout the entire year, so you want to jump on it now. Summer.thetarotguild.com. And if you want to book a private session with Mary or I, you can go visit Mary's page, learn more about Mary, and contact her and book sessions and everything at psychictalk.net/Mary. And my page is psychictalk.net/Dax. There you go. So that's everything that's going on with the Tarot Guild and such. Oh, you mentioned the Psychic Talk radio group, Mary. Our Tarot Guild group on Facebook is up to 6,641 members this morning. So if you're into tarot, come over and join our group on Facebook. Just go to thetarotguild.com/Facebook. That'll take you right over there. 6,641 people into tarot. We always have about, according to the statistics on the group, a couple thousand active people at a time. So pop on over there. Let's see. So the topic we're going to talk about today, going to do a little business. This is because, well, you know, a lot of our listeners are professional readers or want to be professional readers, right, Mary?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. And this topic kind of came up because a member on the group that I was just talking about did a post and started talking about professional tarot readers undercharging for their services, which is also not valuing, not really valuing yourself. Mary?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm getting a lot of wind noise or something in the background there, or something like that. I don't know. It's really loud. I just wanted to. Now it went away. It stopped now.
Okay.
Just want to make you aware. Yeah, because I was going to send you a Facebook message, but
I'm inside. There's no wind. It would be wild if there was.
Yeah. It must be breath sounds then, because it's definitely coming from your line. I was like, what is that?
Right,
it sounds like a wind tunnel.
Okay,
Moving right along. Yeah, I was going to send you a Facebook message, but I didn't know if you were looking at Facebook right now. And so the topic today is tarot readers, are you charging what you're worth? And, this topic actually comes up every now and again. It has over like the last decade of doing radio. It comes up. And, we always have a new crop of brand new professional readers, right, Mary? And so the same kind of questions come up, and figuring out what to charge. It's not just tarot readers. It's whatever you do out there. You could be a Reiki practitioner or a hypnotherapist. You could be a massage therapist or an astrologer or a life coach. Any of these modalities where you're helping people. And it's hard to figure this out, I do have a couple of strategies that I use with my students. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that, this first one I'm going to talk about is 20 years ago. I started, using this as a reference. Things have changed a lot. People were going online and doing their, providing their services and their business online, even before COVID. And then when COVID hit, 2020, everything was online. We're seeing people on Skype and Zoom and Facebook video calls and things like that nowadays. And so it's a little different than back in the day when, most professional readers were reading for people in their town or city, right, Mary?
Absolutely. There's still, that's still going on, but it's a massive movement online given all those factors.
Yeah, of course, people can still mask up and do a reading, or maybe you're lucky to live in an area that's not as hard hit by the COVID. We actually did a whole show on that about how to cleanse your cards, and what to do in the era of COVID, doing readings. Remember that? And, sure, people, things have opened up in some areas. Now we've got the Delta variant. Things are closing down again in some areas, but still a large, like here in Tucson, we're still fairly open here, and don't seem to have the numbers creeping up as bad as in other parts of the country, like where you live in Texas, and but people still, do readings in person. And so for that, back 20 years ago, I told people, this is what you do. You look for the pricing of other professionals in your area. So you want to look at what I'm trying to think of some examples here. Hypnotherapists, life coaches, massage therapists, Reiki masters. Of course, back then there wasn't Reiki as much, back then, but there is now, But any kind of therapist, psychotherapy, a psychotherapist, go out there and find out what everybody's charging, and then add it all together and divide by the number of examples you have. You're going to get an average, right, Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I always say, look at the average, and then you might want to price your services a little bit above that. You don't want to be in the pack with everybody else. And that's, like a whole nother conversation about where you want to be pricing your services and how you want to think of your services, like a commodity where everybody's fighting for the lowest price to get volume of customers versus a value, something of higher value. Like the difference between somebody buying a Bentley or a Chevy, as far as cars go are a good example. They're both transportation. They both get you there. One costs $20,000, one costs $200,000. Do you want to be the commodity, or do you want to be the higher priced, and seen as an expert? And in order to do that, you have to position yourself around a particular problem you're solving where you become the expert. So in reading, you might be, you're the person that helps people connect with past loves or something like that. You're the romance reader, or you're the financial reader, or the business coach type thing. And so that's how you price. As far as pricing strategies, figuring out, it starts with what kind of service are you providing? Are you doing this part-time, and doing readings for family and friends, and then branching out into, friends of friends and stuff? But maybe you're not charging it as high a fees. Are you doing a full-time business? And then in that case, you want to position yourself as the expert as you can in some niche. And then you're going to be charging much, much higher, even higher than other therapists in your area. So that was one of the strategies I would always employ with teaching my students. I would tell them to see what everybody else is charging and charge a little more, and not just other readers too. That's why I mentioned psychotherapists, Mary, and massage therapists, and hypnotherapists, and life coaches, and other professionals in your area, because tarot readers, as our member posted her article on the Tarot Guild page, are notorious for this, for undercharging. So you don't even want to use other tarot readers as a basis for this. You want to position yourself as a professional in line with other professionals doing a similar service, like life coaching and other types of therapies. And that's really where you should be looking. Now, most, I don't want to say most, but a lot of us anyway are doing our readings and our life coaching via teleconference these days. And so you're not limited to your local area. So a lot of that goes out the window at that point, you see. If your business is local, that strategy works. If you're not local, if you're doing it online, the whole world is open to you. You're not limited by the fact that, well, I don't live in a major city, so therapists, in this rural town that I live in charge, $100 an hour, whereas in New York City it's $350 an hour, for a therapist. You're not limited by that. So how do you figure out what to charge, Mary? Well, another strategy I tell people to employ is, if you're not doing this part-time, if you're, that you can kind of feel out. But if you're doing this professionally, this is your gig, this is your only thing, then you want to start thinking along the lines of, okay, what do I need to make? Start at the end point rather than the what am I going to charge per hour. And this is actually a life coaching strategy that we use for goals. We figure out the big goal, where you want to be in 6 months, where you want to be in 12 months, and we work backwards. So in order to be at this goal in 12 months, what does it have to look like at 11 months, 6 months, 4, 2 weeks from now? What can I do tomorrow? See, that's how life coaches work. They start at the end point and go backwards. A lot of writers do this too. They end the story, and then in order to get to this ending, they backtrack the story instead of writing from the beginning, so to speak. So start with your end point. What are your fixed monthly bills? Figure that out. And then multiply times 12. And what are some things that you would like to accomplish or acquire or so forth in that year? Add that into the total. What are your not fixed commodities monthly? Gas, eating out and entertainment and all that kind of thing. Add that together, multiply times 12, add it to the big total. So you're getting an annual total. I bare minimum need to make X amount of money. It might be $30,000 a year, it might be $50,000 a year, it might be $75,000 a year. It doesn't matter. It's what you need to make bare minimum. And then we're going to work backwards from that. You take that large figure, let's take $75,000. I know this is crazy, but you use whatever figures you want to use. This is just an example, right? And if we divide by 12, that means you need to make $6,250 in a single month to hit that bare minimum of $75,000. And maybe a lot of you out there don't have that high of a bare minimum needs. Others out there have higher, or you just want higher, and that's perfectly fine. And then, so one way of doing this is you divide by 12, you get that figure. Okay, I need 6,000. Then think to yourself, how many clients do I want to see in a month? And this is another part of how we price things, Mary, is that if you're in the lower range of pricing for your services, you're going to have to see a lot more clients to make the same amount of money, right? That's just logic.
Right.
Are you there, Mary? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Maybe you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm just listening. Go ahead.
Yep. And of course, it all depends on how you work. Some people work online, like you do, Mary, through a service, and we're going to get to that in a little bit here. We're going to actually talk about, what do you do when you're working for a service, but this is more seeing private clients. You have to see a lot more private clients if you're charging $30 for a reading compared to $199. Okay. So we divided the 75,000 by 12, 6,200. Let's just throw out a number there. I don't want to work with more than, God, I don't know, 25 clients in a month. So we divide that by 25 and we get $250. So you need to be charging $250 per client in order to reach this goal. That's one way of calculating it. Another way to do it is to take, remember, start at the end. What's the bare minimum you need? I'm going to do that 75,000 again just for the fun of it. And divide by 50. Now there's 52 weeks in the year. Let's take 2 weeks off, right? We're going to divide by 50. So that equals $1,500 a week. And let's say I want to see, one client a day, 5 days a week, maybe throw in a few more. We're going to divide by 8. Okay, so I get $187.50. So see, this is another way of doing the same calculation by week instead of by month. And, that's really in the ballpark, really, folks. But of course, if you're only needing to make 50,000 and you divide by 12 and then divide by that same 25 clients, it brings it down to 166. Okay, so these are some ways of calculating this out, not just guessing or saying how much am I going to charge per hour kind of thing, but rather really getting down into the nitty-gritty and figuring out how many clients you want to work with in a week or a month, what your actual expenses are over an entire year, and then divide that to figure out monthly by 12. And these are, this will get you going at least, where you can start playing around with the numbers. I don't know, maybe you want to see 2 or 3 clients a day, 5 days a week, or you want to see 2 clients a day, 7 days a week, or maybe you only want to work 3 days a week and you want to see 3 clients 3 days a week. You have to figure that out for yourself, where you're not going to reach burnout, basically. Now, that's seeing private clients, but for seeing, working for a service like a website, an online service, where folks call in or they do a video conference or so forth. Mary's kind of the expert on that because she's been working for Keen for how long, Mary? A long time.
Yeah, since 2010.
Wow. It's like 11 years, and I actually, it's been years since I actually have looked at that, Keen and Aranum and California Psychics and everything. And, I used to go and peruse and figure out, what's the average that, psychics or readers or advisors are charging on these different websites, and things like that. I'm kind of out of the loop now. Do you know, Mary, or what are you doing? Because it's more like a per minute thing versus what I've been talking about.
Yeah, it's a per minute thing, or it can be a per chat thing, or per email thing as well. There's a lot of different ways to do it. You mentioned a random. That's one where you do it on video, and Keen, California Psychics, and most of them are doing it over the phone. So if you're interested in working for a particular service, you need to kind of peruse that service like you would if you were a potential client, and see what people are charging. But it all comes down to, well, look, you can charge whatever you want, right? And that's great. That doesn't mean you're going to make money. You can charge it. They may not call you. If you may price some people out, And then if you charge too little, you might get nothing but pranksters that don't mind spending like $3 to be a jerk. That happens too. But you want to kind of look at it, and for working on a service, it's all based on feedback. I mean, that really is the number one factor in how you do in those services. So if you can maintain, like, say, a 5-star reading, in your feedback file, like that's people leaving reviews for you, making, nice comments, hopefully, if you give them a good reading, and they rate you, So, and then potential clients go and look for, I just want to look at the 5-star readers, There's that, and then there's also the fact of, like, how much would you pay? That has probably been my number one rule of thumb. How much would I pay for a reading with me? How much do I pay for a reading with other readers? What's the most I've ever paid for a reading, and how'd I feel after that? Was I good with that? Did I think I got my money's worth? I mean, I think that's like, just the human factor. It's like, really, like, what would I be willing to pay myself? If I was looking for the kind of reader that I am, looking for the kind of advice that I give. And, you mentioned, looking at therapy, therapists in your area when you were talking about doing them in person. Well, if you're working online, whether you're working for a service or you just have a listing on Etsy or, your own website or something, look at things like Talkspace, where you can, a therapist per minute on Talkspace.
Oh, yeah, there's some new websites out there.
Yeah, and their average is like, 45 to an hour-minute personal session with the therapist online averages about $150, So you got to kind of think like, okay, well, that is that one area where I can look at that, and then look on the listings on the site for different readers. How much are they charging? Read their feedback, were people satisfied with that? Have they done a lot of readings? Have they gotten a lot of feedback? If you have like thousands, you find somebody that's a 5-star reader, has thousands of 5-star ratings, then you probably have a pretty good reader, right? And then you look at like what the per minute is. I feel like the average is around $4.99 a minute, And I think that that's about the average. It can go up. I mean, I've seen people charge $20 a minute. They don't have a lot of response, because it's like, and if you are, going to like supercharge like that, that you're obviously seeking a certain clientele. And so, if you can develop a steady client base, that's terrific. But one client paying that is not going to probably pay for your phone. You got to factor in what your expenses are. What do I need? Like you were saying, what do I need to make if I want to do this if I'm replacing this as my main job, my main profession, or, is it just a side gig? And if it's just a side gig, what's worth your time? What covers the cost of your tarot
or doing
cards
it for fun,
and your so there's a wide variety, and and there's also kind of funny things about it too. A lot of people get into this weird thing about how they this is spiritual work and we shouldn't charge, even though like you pay a minister to do a wedding. It's like, I've seen that argument, and I've considered it, and I just think that if you're affected by that, or you're kind of feeling weird about that whole thing, that's okay. And the best thing that you can do is have a conversation with God. Say like, dear Lord, help me to succeed, in my business. This is, what my intention is, because it really all boils down to intention, and I think there's a lot of choices you got to make, and you got to make the choice you feel good about.
Right. And, you could actually look at it as multiple businesses. You could think to yourself, well, I'm going to spend some hours on this psychic website or phone lines or what have you that I work through. And then I'm going to also spend some time seeing a different clientele where I'm doing more life coaching, and it's longer. So instead of like 5-10 minute readings, 15-20 minute readings, I'll do that through the service, 20-30 hours a week. But then I'm also seeing this other clientele where I spend an hour with them, and it's more life coaching, and I'm pulling cards, and we're working through goals and things along those lines. And it's all about how you want to work. Oh, one thing before I forget, I got to mention this real quick, because there's going to be people out there that don't realize that when we say that a reader on Keen is charging $4.99 per minute, and then somebody with a gazillion 5 stars and a gazillion reviews and everything, and maybe they're I've seen some charging $9.99 a minute, but the reader is not getting that. It's I don't know what the breakdowns are nowadays, but of course the site is doing all the promotion and bringing in the clientele for you. And so they take a big chunk, and depending on the service you're working through, it can be like 50% up to as much as 70%, that they're taking. So the reader,
and the site,
the reader's
like
not
if you join one of them, they have a calculator, so exactly how it breaks down, so you can figure out how much you want to make, and you charge. That's like your bottom, and then you set your rate so that you're making that much, regardless of what the price is to the client, because you do share it with the service. I mean, they're running TV commercials, for goodness sake, some of them.
Oh God, I've been seeing a lot more frequently now, and then other things too that are not readings, but they're like kind of psychically related. Like there's this one company, I think it's birthday.co or birthday.cc or something like that is the website, and they're doing like things for people's birthday, like birthday candles, and then they have a package that goes with it that includes their astrology and tarot and a whole numerology and a whole bunch of other stuff, and this is on like primetime TV. It floors me. You wouldn't see that except for really late night in the 80s, in the 80s and the 90s, where we had Miss Cleo. She was on at 2:00 in the morning. Call into the psychic line. But no, I just wanted to mention that because some people were doing the calculation, I'm sure, in their head, going, okay, $4.99 a minute, and if I do 60 minutes, that's $299. Yeah, but no. I mean, only about half of that is going to the reader, So you have to, when you're doing a service, you have to figure out not only the minimum you need to make, and then you have to double it, So if you
It's really so simple. You don't have to calculate anything really, because all of these have like an application in them. They have a little app that does the calculation for you. They walk you through it. So it's like you don't have to be a math genius to work on one of the sites. They explain it to you.
Right. And it's just, it's the kind of reader that you want to be, and if the big thing about that started this whole idea of talking about this topic, this post by one of our members, the thing that, she was getting to is how people, it's not just not charging enough. It's undervaluing what you're doing, undervaluing your service. I actually wrote an article on this, and you can go over to thetarotguild.com and look through the articles. You could do a search for charging what you're worth in our search bar and read my article where I talk all about this, and about, valuing your services. We tend to undervalue ourselves no matter what it is that we do, and you have to bring it into perspective of, what does your reading do? I mean, is it a cutesy little fluffy, you're doing a fortune telling type reading at a psychic fair where you're just throwing out some stuff, or is it a real serious life coaching type reading where you're really working with a client in a particular niche? And those are pretty much the two ends of the scale, the way I see it. So you sit down with the business person, and they're looking to grow their business, and you're pulling cards, and they have questions about going in different directions, different ways of approaching their business, increasing their bottom line and so forth, Mary, and they have goals, and you're helping them with these goals. You're pulling cards, you're doing life coaching techniques, which is why that's another thing I wanted to mention about adding value as a reader by adding in other modalities, such as, okay, I'm a tarot reader, but I can add in astrology, numerology, life coaching. I can take courses and certifications in these other areas, Reiki, crystals. You can add things to increase the value of what you're providing for the client. But just going back to the example of the business person, Mary, so you're sitting down with this person and doing this, okay, and then as a result of one session with you, or maybe 2 or 3 sessions, they get clear, they go for their goal, they make the shifts in their business, they add $100,000 to their gross that year. What's that worth? If you think in just typical business terms of marketing, for instance, it takes about 10% to market. I mean, that's what the bare minimum you should be putting in marketing is 10% of your gross. So in order to bring in that business, now you go see a life coach or a tarot reader, and you can think this as equivalent to a consultant. Let's say instead of going to their tarot reader, they hired a consultant, and the consultant helped them increase their gross by $100,000. That consultant's going to charge $10,000 for that. And if you could do the same thing as a tarot reader, directing them in the right direction, that hour wasn't worth a few $100s. I think it was. So again, it comes. In fact, it's worth way more than that, But of course, you don't know what the outcome's going to be until the client actually follows through, So unless you put a thing on it where you go, okay, so if I want 10% of how much you increase your business, of course, you're not going to do that. You're going to charge what you're going to charge for your reading. But it's just an example. Maybe it's not the best analogy, but it's an example to get you thinking in terms of the worth, the value of your readings. We undersell ourselves. What we do is very valuable, people. We're helping clients make choices and decisions. We're helping them decide and go in different directions and attain goals. And some of it's intangible. I gave a business example, but what's it worth to find the love of your life? What's it worth to the one that got away to get them back?
And what would you pay for it? That's the thing. I get that. But I also think, like, keep your feet on the ground, like, what would you pay? What is reasonable? What's reasonable to you? Because it's like it's always a moving target. How much you charge, how much you want to make. It's always a moving target. So I think you have to at least start with, like, for a good reading, and that would help me resolve this problem or help me, figure out, what my next step is, and how much would I pay for that? And also, how much can you pay for it, Because really, we're talking about disposable income, right? So it's not so much what the clients are making, in their own lives, their own businesses or whatever, but it's like, how much are they willing to spend on, because it's for a lot of people, and even for me, when I get a tarot reading on my birthday every year, it's entertainment, it's fun. That's why I do. That's why I go get my yearly thing. See, there's all different factors, and it's always going to be moving around, but you got to start where you feel good about it, and that, it's like, that makes sense for me. And I'm charging what I would be willing to pay.
As you go. Yeah, you can always, if you're getting too many clients, you increase it a little bit to decrease the clients, but you actually still make more money. We talk about that all the time.
And sometimes, every once in a while, you may have a client who, maybe you end up reading for somebody famous. Maybe that famous person all of a sudden makes you famous. You become like a celebrity psychic. You're going to need to reevaluate how much you're charging, because you'll never be able to see all the people that want to see you.
Yeah, and it depends on, again, it goes back to the kind of reading and the kind of person, you want to be. If you're just going to see the general public, any comers, they can come and get a reading for anything they want and ask anything they want. That's a commodity. You could decide to do that, or you could decide, I'm going to position myself as an expert. I work in this niche only. I only see women between 45 and 57 years of age with a minimum income of $80,000 a year that are looking to work on XYZ problem. And it just so happens I'm a tarot reader and a life coach. See, it's completely when you're talking about pricing your services along the lines of, what would I pay? I never look at that, because I would not pay me the amount of money that I'm worth. What I'm going to look at is what would someone else pay. And I'm going to look at, what I'm doing. Am I doing a commodity? Anybody needs a reading for anything, they're going to hire me, and I'm going to charge X, Y, Z. If I'm doing something at the other end of the scale, where I'm in a niche with a particular type of client solving a particular problem, I'm going to charge a lot more. And there are people out there that will pay it. You shouldn't limit yourself to, the average person is only going to pay so much for a tarot reading. That's true, the average person. But should that be the person that you're marketing to? You can decide to market to people, and Facebook and all these platforms allow you to target that particular audience, and you're solving a particular problem, and you're going for a client that can afford to pay the higher fee, and so it depends on how you want to work. That's what it all comes down to. But there's a lot to think about, and you have to figure out what kind of reader you want to be. One thing I want to leave everybody with is, I mentioned briefly a minute ago about adding value. Really think about adding value. That's why my course is Tarot by the Numbers, and I teach tarot and numerology side by side, because it adds value. Not only does it help you do the reading as far as doing the cards and doing the actual tarot reading with people. The numerology allows you to generate charts and numerology reports, and you can sell those as part of a package, with a reading. Maybe if you're doing a set fee like I do, and you're charging $150 for a reading, and it comes with a report, and it comes with a full chart and everything like that. Or you can sell them separately too, so you have multiple streams of income, and you might want to look at taking a life coaching course. That's probably, out of all the modalities that you can add to tarot, that's probably the number one thing I tell people, is that that's the best foundation you can have, because a lot of people, they want a life coach and they don't want to go to a therapist, a psychotherapist, and so they hire a tarot reader. We're the inexpensive therapists out there now, Mary, and but they're looking for life coaching along the way, and so it's great to have all those techniques, all that those tools in your tool belt, and it adds to the value that you're providing for the client, because you market yourself that way, that you're a tarot advisor and certified life coach. And that way, again, you can charge more than you would charge if you were just doing quick fortune-telling type tarot readings, and maybe that's all you want to do. That's perfectly fine. I'm talking to the professionals out there that really want to build a business and want to have high quality clients, lower numbers of clients, and really help them make changes in their lives. You might think of taking a life coaching course. We have one available through the Tarot Guild. There's a lot of them out there. So I just want to leave everybody with all of that. Boy, we blasted through the entire hour. That was really fun. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about. Mary, do you want to let everybody know what's coming up on the network?
Yes. So on the Psychic Talk Network this week, our next show is going to be tomorrow, Sunday, August 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's the Magic Universe Show with your host, Sharona Rapsick. She has a special guest, spiritual life coach and tarot reader, Anita Avalos. And they'll be taking your calls for free tarot mini readings and having open lines the whole time. And then on Monday, it's the Wisdom of the Soul Show at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern with your host, Janice Dukes. And then Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, it's Spiritual Guidance Radio with angelic channel and healer Catherine Hahn. And she'll be giving free on-air guidance. And then Dax and I will be back next Saturday, August 28th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, for our monthly Psychic Spin episode, What Do You Want to Know from the Universe? There'll be Tarot Today Radio with me and Dax. We'll be doing open lines and mini readings and taking your questions. So you can send us questions that you would like us to ask in the cards about for the Psychic Spin. Yeah, any question. The big questions, not, does he still love me, but does the universe love me? Does it consciously love me? Big questions. Why are we here? Are robots taking over? Are aliens here? Big questions, people. Put your thinking caps on and send them to Dax.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
Exactly. And that's what's coming up on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. You can find that list of shows very easily. Keep up with us by going to psychictalk.net/upcoming. Back to you, Dax.
Yeah, what's big in the news? So I guess the whole thing now is the whole Afghanistan situation, but that's the kind of thing we're talking about. What's current events in the news.
And you can post your questions if you are on Facebook. Join our Psychic Talk Radio Network Facebook group. You can find it by going to psychictalk.net/Facebook. you can post your question in there. Dax does all the promotion for our show, so when you see that promo post for the Psychic Spin episode, be sure to post a question in there as well and let us know what you want to know. And I think we did cover everything pretty well today on are you charging what you are worth. Would love to see some feedback on what you guys think, if any of the ideas resonated with you that Dax and I gave you today. And you can post those on the Tarot Guild Facebook group. If it's the Tarot Guild, make sure you join ours and not the Australian one, because otherwise, well, you'll be on the opposite side of the world asking your questions, and we'll never see them. But Dax, I think, had a little technical difficulty, and he should be right back on with us. And let's see, what else did I want to say, if anything, about that? I mean, I think that it really all comes down to, how you do when you're starting out, with your tarot business, and you're figuring out what to charge and everything. And, I think the main thing I did want to say that I didn't get a chance to say yet is that where you start doesn't have to be where you finish. It very well may not be where you end up. If you, hang your shingle or have your web page, or you create your listing on a service if you're going to work for a service, and you're charging a certain rate, and it's just not happening for some reason, you're not getting any calls, you're just waiting, you're not booking any clients, then don't be afraid to move off of that price. Try going a little higher, try going a little lower, but give it a chance and don't give up. I see so many posts from people that get so frustrated when they're first starting out, and they're giving up. It's like, I just can't do it. And that, you don't want that kind of thinking, messing everything up. Yes, you can do this. You can do this. If you are a tarot reader and you know your stuff and you're a good reader, there's absolutely no reason why you can't be a professional reader and be charging for it if you want to. I know myself, I never pictured myself as a professional tarot reader. Tarot reading was always more personal for me. And instead I worked some, crazy 60-plus hour a week job, And then when I, hit a transition point where I was going to have to, leave that kind of work that I was doing as my day job, in entertainment journalist, as an entertainment journalist behind, and help take care of, ailing family members instead. And I thought, wow, okay, so how do I fit that in my schedule? How do I do the caretaking as well as, make a living? And it was time for me to give it a chance, give myself a chance to be a professional reader. And I know what it feels like. I know the scariness, the uncertainty. We're doing something new here, and we haven't done it professionally before, and so how do we charge for it? The biggest hurdle is really at the beginning, and after that, you hit your stride, you hit your rhythm, you figure it out. So don't be afraid to, like the Fool card suggests, take that leap of faith, because it's a leap of faith in yourself. So awesome, I hope
Mary.
that helps somebody. There you are.
Remember to call in to Sharona's show tomorrow, but we do have one caller on here that we could take real quick, and then it'll be the end of the show.
Sounds
like
great.
Area code 604. Who's out there?
It's Renee calling from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Hey, Renee.
Wow. Hey.
Hey, guys. What an excellent show today. I'm rating you guys today's show 5-star.
Oh, thanks. Yay.
Rate us.
It's absolutely excellent. On your birthday, I booked 2 packages, and the second one we haven't done yet, Dax, and that is for I was going to do a mini coaching session with you on this exact topic. So today,
my God!
Today answered a lot of my questions. I had one thing to add and ask about because I think it's important. And so I don't know how to say it, but it's about certification.
Okay.
And I think certification, like you're saying, well, I like that, Mary, what you said about, or was it Dax, ask how much you would pay. I thought that's interesting. And today, I would like to know someone is certified. I understand certification doesn't guarantee anything psychic or blah, 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 or the 5-star stuff. You know, that could be, people can make themselves 5-star on the public media platform. And so I'm just thinking certification has value. Certification would help the individual feel that they are worthy to charge what they're charging. And I feel when you tell someone you're certified, they suddenly move you up from that fair-like booth, psychic booth, into a higher echelon, like you said, we're the counselors or we're the... So I just was wondering about the certification because I really appreciate what the Tarot Guild does to offer that. And I just thought your course was wonderful. I thought your
oh, great.
Yeah, the live part I thought was great. And, it was... And I've tried to encourage other people that I know, but they're too scared to do it. So anyway, thank you for that. That was a beautiful experience for me, and I would love my certificate hard copy in the mail, please.
Rini, that's really interesting, actually. If you think about that, that people would say to you that they're scared to do it. You know, why would they be scared? That's what you need to find out. Find out why they're scared. What can we do different?
Because I guess they don't feel that they know their terror well enough, or they feel that maybe they just, to a lot of people they say, that's not important. Where I think it is important because there's a set of rules and regulation and compliance. Like now I can say, well, no, I'm certified and I have compliance. I'm not quite sure what you call it. I have to look up the word on the website. But no, I have to follow protocol. Like, this.
Yeah, we have a code of ethics. And
what is it, Mary?
Code of ethics, and I do think that there's value to that because when I hear that somebody's certified with something, whether it's tarot or whatever, it shows me like, okay, it's not just a hobby for them. They actually study this. They actually spend, dedicated some time to learning how to do this, and there's an organization that said, hey, you got it, you learned it, you're certified. So I think it does add value. I know from clients of mine that, I've gotten new clients because that's one thing that sort of stood out. It's because there are a lot of people that certified or not, aren't listing their service that way, aren't letting people know that they're a, tarot master or certified by an organization, that kind of thing. So I think it inspires not just confidence for the reader themselves, but also for the client, too.
And there's also questions that are easy to answer. I have to follow the code of ethics. So I can't go down that route. Or no, I can't do a reading on a third party without their permission. I don't read for people without their permission. Yeah. Whatever that fine line is, it depends upon how someone is asking something. You know what I mean. But so the code of ethics, I think, is a wonderful way to say things nicely and kindly. And then they respect, you gain respect. So I wanted to thank you for your efforts, you guys, for certifying us. You guys do that from the love of your heart. Thank you for offering this to us.
Absolutely. And another thing I will say about the Code of Ethics, it's great to have that, typed up and printed off, too. When I do readings at Psychic Fairs, I actually have a copy of my Code of Ethics sitting on my table. So people already know, look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not, an accountant. So, let's do a tarot reading. There's everything else we could talk about.
I like that idea. That's a good one.
That's right.
I'm writing that one now.
We've been doing this for a long, long, long time, and when I talk to people that get certified and I ask them, what's their number one thing, it is the confidence thing. They feel more confident that they've gone through the certification process. They're going and doing a reading for someone that has received readings from hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants applying to be certified over the last, 17 years, and has done thousands and thousands and thousands of readings for other people. So they know, the person certifying you knows if somebody is doing a professional level reading or not. That's the whole thing of getting certified. It's not, yes, we do an exam that's, more of a quiz, just general tarot knowledge, just to make sure that, you haven't just picked up a deck of cards and never studied it, that you actually have some knowledge of the tarot and the structure of the tarot and so forth. And then the second part of the certification is the test reading. But that's the main thing, really, is the test reading. The main thing is, if we're going to certify you as a certified tarot reader, can you do a professional level tarot reading? And people get a lot of confidence from that. They didn't just study on their own and they got their deck of cards and, they started for reading for people. And that's how almost all of us start, But by going through the certification process, then they're able, to feel more confident because they know, hey, this person that's certifying me and I'm doing a test reading for that's on the other end of the line, they've done thousands of their own readings. They've been read for by applicants by thousands of people, and by them saying that I pass and I'm worthy of being certified, that's a lot of confidence right there.
Wow. I like that.
There you go.
I never thought of it that way, but that is, I'm writing that one down too, Dax. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another part of it too. It's not just getting certified, but who's certifying you, and if it's a lot of clients don't really care, and a lot of times it's more for the reader. But if you do have a client inquiring, how does one get certified as a tarot reader? What does that mean? Now you've got a way of explaining it. It means that an organization has come and the examiner from the organization, who's done tens of thousands of their own readings for clients and have been read for by thousands of applicants, says that I can do a professional reading.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to say too. Oh, go right ahead.
Sorry, just out of curiosity, out of the test readings, because the two of you do that at the Tarot Guild for the certification process, is there just roughly, just small chit chat? Is there people that you don't pass, or that you have them do more, or kind of how does that work?
Well, in all the time that I've been doing this for, years and years and years and years and years and years, it's pretty rare that somebody comes along that really can't do a professional reading. Most people can. And I've had so many people apply, and then we're going to do the reading, the test reading, They do the exam and they pass. Most people pass that with flying colors. Some people, get almost all the answers right. Some people barely get enough to pass, but almost everybody passes. If they don't pass the exam, it's an open book exam, and I remind them of that, and I tell them to go and retake it, and if I need to give them some pointers, I give them some pointers, and we get them over the hump of passing the exam. And then when it comes to the test reading, they'll say to me, Dax, I'm so nervous, and it's hilarious because the ones that say they're nervous are the ones that give me the best readings, And, there's been a handful of people, over 17 years, there's, I can count on the fingers on one hand the number of people that I've had to have, really go back, brush up a little bit and, do some more practice readings with other people and then come back and do another test reading. It's rare. It almost never happens. Most people, when they get to the point where they're applying for certification, they've already done that. They've done practice readings, or they've even been a professional reader for some time. I mean, we get everything from people who've been a professional reader for a few months already to 20, 30 years they've been reading, you see. So that's why I think it's so rare that we get anybody that we need to retake the testing process. It's really, really rare, and I think that's why. Because as a professional organization, a huge percentage, maybe 80% of the people applying for certification have already been doing this for a long time, and then we get the new folks too, and for them it's a confidence ego. I don't want to say ego boosting. What's the terminology we've been using? It's a confidence boosting. Yeah, it's a real big confidence boost when they go through the certification process, and we put the stamp of approval on them that was a pretty professional reading that you did for me, and that really opens things up, I think, for a lot of readers. That's what they need. They need that little shot in the arm.
Is there a directory for the readers certified by the Tarot Guild?
Yeah, actually, our website crashed. The servers died a couple of years back, and the website as it is now, thetarotguild.com, is only a couple of years old. It's a brand new website, and the platform is a full social networking website. It's like Facebook for tarot, really, And we used to have a static website out there with a reader's directory on it. We had that website for 10 years, and the servers finally crashed. And then when we had to rebuild the website anyway, I said, hey, let's go full bore and do this social networking website. On there, we have a reader's directory. You just look on the website, you'll see reader's directory. You just click on there. Now,
how do we know if they're certified? Is there a directory for certification people?
The people that are on the readers directory are only people that have been certified by the Tarot Guild, and that's written out on that page. If you go to the page, it'll tell you that only certified guild certified tarot readers that are also professional members. They have to be not just certified, but they have to be a professional member of the guild and certified, and then they're in the readers directory. But the thing
so if someone is certified and someone is a professional member, then they become part of that directory automatically?
Oh, automatically, yeah. Yeah, we put them on there. Yeah. But the thing
is,
that.
Marion, sorry, I cut you off there. You were going to say something brilliant. Can you remember your thought wave?
Let me finish up real quick here because I've been she can't remember. I've been trying to I wanted to finish up on that point real quick because there's something about the new website that people might not understand. Is we've been doing this for almost 18 years now. We're coming up on 17 years. I'm sorry. We're coming up on our 17th anniversary. We're going to be in our 18th year after October, and literally thousands of people have gone through this process. They're not all on that directory, and I wanted to make that distinction. You know, if you go to our Tarot Guild group on Facebook, which has like almost all of our members going back to when we first went online in 2009 was when we first went online. There's 6,600 and something people. On the new website, if you look under members, you know, just everybody that's on the website, you're going to see that there's only a few hundred people. And that's because we built this new website, and we're trying to get people onto the website that have been members for years, you know, professional members and are certified, but they never made the journey. You know, they never made the shift and got onto this new website. So the Reader's Directory only has a tiny fraction of the people that are actually certified tarot readers that have been certified through the Tarot Guild and tarot masters and tarot professionals. I just wanted to throw that out there so everybody understands when they go there. It's like there's only a small list, and it's like, yeah, that's because most of our membership has not made it onto the new website. And
you really only got that started. What was it, December? And now January was when it kind of really got heard about of 2021. So this website is almost brand new, isn't it, Dax?
Well, it came out in I think we built it for the 15th anniversary, which would be 2 years back. So that would be I think it was 2018 when we actually built it.
Oh yeah, the whole year of COVID lockdown that just slipped my memory. Sorry about that. You're right.
Yeah, 2018, 2019, somewhere in there, 2018, 2019. You know, but yes, because of the COVID. Because of everything going on, I mean, and just trying to get the word out, it's been slow going. The group on Facebook is growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, you know, we hovered in the 4,000 range for forever, and now, you know, every week we're getting dozens, if not hundreds, of people joining the Facebook group. But you know, to get the people over to the Tarot Guild website, the new one. You know, you are right in that people have only started picking up on it at the beginning of this year, you know, that there's this new website, that we have a new website, you know, and it's just been so hard to get people onto the website. Really, really hard. Anyway, we got to run, Renee, because we're at the end of the show, but anything else that you wanted to mention about?
Thank you very much for all that you do for us. Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend.